And welcome to a Degenerate Friday edition of the Morning Briefing. I'm Jeff DeForest, along with Mike Lubie. Very happy to have you guys with us here on NoFilter.net, Caffeine TV, the various other platforms where the Morning Briefing appears, all courtesy of the fine work of Joe Manuel, Eric Burns, and the good people behind, and the lovely Leslie, the good people behind NoFilter.net. We're very appreciative of the opportunity to be here with you on a Degenerate Friday. Which we should begin with what, Lubie? Should we embrace this more warmly than we have? It was kind of a shrug your shoulders, oh yeah, it finally happened. But here, where we reside in the state of Florida, an historic day took place yesterday. I know it was December 7th and Pearl Harbor Day, but they dropped a bomb right in the lap of every degenerate sicko that's out there wagering on sports and wanted to shoot craps and play roulette, not Russian roulette, which craps can be, right? There's always that, oh, I forgot about the 0 and the 00. That's the thing that makes sure and ensures that the house always takes your money. There's a reason that they were able to have every celebrity that ever appeared on television, in a movie, in a Broadway show, ever had a hit song, every has-been, every wannabe, every rapper, everybody that ever had even 15 seconds of fame was on hand as a celebrity to help them cut the ribbon on sports wagering here in South Florida at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Also another location, which they have a couple of ancillary sites there, and they did it everywhere. And they introduced the South Florida public to legalized on-site sports wagering. Lubie, Oh Happy Day should be the song of the day, should it not? Oh Happy Day. Sing it with me. Oh Happy Day, oh Happy Day. You don't share the same overwhelming enthusiasm that, say, the Seminole tribe of Florida, who is controlling all of this wagering action, and Governor Ron DeSantis. Did you happen to see Governor Ron? He came back from Iowa, and he was wearing a Native American headdress, used to be known as an Indian headdress. He looked like Danny Little Red Lopez coming in there against Salvador Sanchez in Las Vegas, Nevada, back in 1980, circa 1980, when he got his head knocked off by one of the great fighters of all time. And in the rematch, he presented Salvador Sanchez with a Native American headdress that he used to wear as part of his ring entrance and appearance. And sure enough, there was DeSantis. The same thing. I'm surprised. they're calling him a little red now. Ron DeSantis, but he was happy. The Seminole tribe of Florida and all the people that are going to be profiting from this, which they started right away. What a perfect way to kick off sports wagering in South Florida than to have the Patriots taking on the Steelers in the evening's platform, right? There wasn't a single person that thought a point was going to be scored in this game. You thought it might have even gone into overtime. They played 10 minutes. It doesn't matter how many possessions the two teams have. The entire world was encouraged to bet the under by every handicapper that had a platform to go ahead and voice their opinion, including this guy that I've been following in what we call the Bury America campaign. He said, no way, man, 30, the lowest total ever. You know who was all over the over, I believe, in that game? Al Michaels.
Oh,
who,
he was super giddy.
At halftime, this game is over. Oh, Bailey Zappi looks like the second coming of Tom Brady. He's flinging a rock all over the place. Bill O'Brien, generally disrespected as a guy that, as a professional head coach, certainly was a bit of a bust. As a general manager, this guy was all Dolly Parton, was he not? I mean, I'm talking memories. Big ass bust. And then he came back as a college offensive coordinator, had some success there. And now is on the sidelines with Bill Belichick, who looks to be completely out of sorts. Belichick is walking around like Travis Bickle in The Taxi Driver, just saying, you talking to me? You talking to me? Seems to be lost. And yet they orchestrate just a thing of beauty. That opening drive was Brady-esque. Bailey Zappi put some points on the board, and before you know it, 21-3. The Patriots are not only large and in charge, but they're going to help with a Pittsburgh touchdown, cover the over in the first half. Oh, why does Michaels feel like he has to dance around this whole gambling issue still? I mean, I know it was kind of cute back in the old days where gambling was a taboo topic with the National Football League. But if you look at the game, I mean, they're on Amazon Prime now, which, by the way, Lubie, people were wondering, all of our boxing fans out there were wondering what's going to happen now that Showtime is no longer in the boxing business. I know we talked with Brad Jacobs, the CEO of Top Rank Boxing kind of took over a good friend of ours, promoter for many, many years, and was a guy, an executive in TV, just got into the Boxing Hall of Fame. And Brad says, hey, it's not necessarily dead because Showtime and HBO are no longer broadcasting boxing. This Al Heyman of Premier Boxing Champions,
Yeah.
it's kind of been, I would say, he's been the most influential guy in the sport of late. Top Rank still doing well, although Brad says they're really cashing in big in Japan. And then you have Eddie Hearn out of England, who controlled DAZN, DAZN. I don't know what they're doing. Have you heard anything about DAZN? Do they still televise boxing?
I guess. I
imagine
haven't
so.
heard for a while about them. A few years.
They were spending money, right? Hand over fist to acquire rights to various things. But I haven't heard too much about them. I did a job for them years ago when they first were striking up and starting up. And of course, I don't know. I must have done a lousy job because I never heard from them again. But I haven't seen them in that much action. DAZN, DAZN. So people were wondering, boxing fans, hey, where's it going to go? And sure enough, they struck a deal. They announced it with Amazon Prime now is going to be involved in the boxing business. I don't know if it's just going to be to have pay-per-view events or if they're going to have regular matches. People were crying, oh, well, now you got to pay for it. Hey, that's tough luck. It's called entertainment, my friends.
Yeah.
If you like it, you're going to go ahead and ante up whatever the freight is to get Amazon Prime. What do you think it costs to have Amazon Prime on your television system?
more
It's like
people
$10 a month?
Most people, it's like you pay $15 for the service, and then you get your free shipping, and then that gives you it for free. I don't know what it costs if you want the actual app. I don't know how much that costs. I don't know anyone that has it that way. Everyone in my world has the actual. I mean, my wife lives by it, so I don't know. Like, I guess you could just get the app. I don't know. I have no idea.
If you buy enough shit, do you get the television service for free? Because there's a package at my door every day, my friend.
People pay 15. I think it's 15 a month, and you get Amazon Prime, meaning you get stuff quicker and you don't pay shipping. When you do that, you now get the app for free. I don't know who just pays for the app. I don't know. Like, Netflix or Hulu. Like, I don't know who does that. Like, everyone I know just gets it because everyone in the world, all they do is use Amazon. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Does Michaels not, kind of keep an ear out? But when I guess when you're doing a game, you don't actually get the commercials in a lot of systems that I broadcast in. When I've been doing live TV, sometimes you just have to watch the monitor and the director tells you to come back. You're not actually hearing the ads. But what was he unaware that every ad that's on the Amazon Prime broadcast of National Football League action is Kevin Hart going ahead and recommending, along with Peyton Manning and everybody else, if they're not trying to sell you that Serena Williams actually eats Subway, which is bullshit. Did you happen to go to Art Basel, which is going on here in Miami? It's a big thing, and all of the big-time celebrities are on hand. Serena was there. I didn't see her eating at Subway after the event was over. I would tend to doubt that was her next. Oh, you know what I need? I need a turkey on rye. Not happening. But, I mean, was he unaware, Al Michaels, that every ad is for DraftKings?
Yeah.
They're all telling you to bet parlays, that you're going to get $150 free if you bet $5. Well, what happens with that? You may as well just put a pyramid of cocaine in front of Chris Farley. I mean, it's death, bringing death. And so he's tap dancing around. Well, some people might be happy that the total went over 30. It's like, come on, Al, just say it. You're a sick, degenerate gambler. And while Herb Street, I don't know, do you think Herb Street's sending it in as well?
I have no idea. I don't know.
By the way, what is he saying?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of him anymore.
Is he morphed into Louis Riddick of ESPN?
He became number one. I mean, he's of ESPN too, actually.
Oh, you're not a fan of his anymore because he dissed Florida State.
You guys, so he can go fuck himself.
All
he's
right.
in the pocket of ESPN a lot, but yeah, he sucks.
Do we need this analysis during games where they get so technical? And, do you actually sit there? I've been following sports since, maybe 4 or 5 years old. Do you really need to be, look at that. He high pointed the ball there as he had leverage on it. I mean, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who needs either of these guys?
No.
But for Al Michaels to think that it's still taboo to talk about gambling, I mean, the celebration yesterday was insane. The only guy, if he hadn't checked out, I think Screech would have gotten a check to help with the ribbon cutting for sports gaming taking place here in South Florida. But anyway, it's on, and what a perfect way to introduce everybody to it. With the Patriots coming up with an outright victory while getting 5.5 points, and the over-under total, the lowest that's ever been posted in 20 freaking years. And they eclipsed it in the first half, of course, when the entire world has been encouraged to bet the under in this ballgame, that it was going to be 0.0, Mr. Plutarski. And, there you go. 7 years of college right down the drain. A couple of other stories of interest. What do you make of this one, Lubie? And I always love it when the people that seem to be most loyal and most disciplined in their approach, that we're not going to go ahead and go rogue or renegade. In this case, we're talking about the game of golf, the PGA Tour versus the Live Tour, which I thought had been consolidated with the PGA Tour.
I didn't know this was still happening. I thought they were one thing.
Supposedly, all of this business is supposed to be consummated by the end of December, or else it goes on into perpetuity as being an unresolved situation. Now, I don't know how much sympathy or empathy can you have for guys that seem like maybe they're on the wrong side of things when it comes to the game of golf with their loyalty to the PGA, which was completely. I mean, you talk about two-faced. This Monahan guy, the PGA Tour commissioner, after just finishing a brilliant, inspiring speech saying, "You know what? We've all got to stick together, Rory." And John Rahm. Stupid. And the guys that are left here, that Scotty Scheffler and the guys that are doing well. I mean, if Tiger defected to the Live Tour, would it really matter right now? He's 48 years old. He's broken down. He's in worse shape than Jim Otto was when he left the Raiders in the National Football League. He can barely walk. I know he made a comeback, and everybody's going to get all excited about it. A lot of money is going to get burned betting on Tiger Woods to win various tournaments and make cuts. But if he went to the Live Tour, okay, biggest name in golf, no question. Who would care? Because who follows the Live Tour? Does anybody know when they play? This is worse than the Major League Soccer outfit. Any idea where the tournaments are, what the standings would be, or who's doing what? We just know that everybody is cashing these fat Saudi Arabian checks. It's incredible. So Rahm, he bolts now after he had professed unwavering loyalty to the PGA Tour and the whole sanctimonious approach that, this is where the records are, and I want to be the guy that goes out there. I don't care about the money. I'm just in there to play the best, and I love the game of golf so much. I would never want to see the history destroyed by some renegade league that Greg Norman conjured up. And where's Greg, by the way? He's finished.
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting the same treatment he gave the lovely Chris Everett when she was schlepping his golf bag while he was trying to win the British Open at 38 years old or whatever he was. What was he, in his 40s? Yeah. Norman, when he was leading that time. And who could not just adore Chris Everett for her personality and her contributions to sport and just the way she portrays herself, her courageous battle with cancer. I guess everybody who battles cancer has to exhibit some kind of courage. But, I mean, to just summarily dump this woman, or I guess it was unceremonious, that's for sure, while she's toting his bag on 18. He's coming up 18, and he's about to get surpassed in the tournament, and he says, "Hey, Chris, you're out."
Nah.
Got rid of her. But where's Norman? He's disappeared. He's not a part of it anymore. $600 million for like 3 years of service on the Live Tour for John Rahm. Lubie.
Oh, wow. Really?
600. They said 300 million, but it escalates to like 600 million. I don't know if that's just for the 3-year duration. And is anybody, are we going to miss this guy? He was the latest of the big Spaniards to be out there. We had Seve Ballesteros, and he was great. I mean, you talk about temperamental, Lubie. I still will never forget the time I was watching him on the driving range. He's trying out some new equipment, and you could see the guys, the executives from the golf company that was putting out this new driver and trying to get Seve to see if he liked it so he might endorse it. And I never forget. I mean, these guys are so great. Seve hits one whoosh, right down the middle, 400 yards.
Wow.
Then they say, hey, okay, try a little draw ball here, Seve. Whoosh, perfect little trajectory there, and it goes about 400 yards. Again, right down the middle, going from right to left. Then they say, you know what? You might want to, throw a little banana ball in there, a little slice-a-roni. And like Lee Trevino was hitting the ball himself. There it is, inside out, right down the middle, 400 yards. And after that, Sevy turns around. He breaks the driver over his knee and starts cursing in Spanish and walks off. I mean, just absolutely livid. And you're thinking, if you didn't like those 3 drives,
yeah, what the hell?
And convert to whatever club that was, then that there really is something outrageous about what barometer you have in terms of judging whether or not you're hitting the ball properly or not. So you had what? Sevy, you had Sergio, who everybody despises. The guy whose name nobody could figure out and why he was named after a girl. I guess that's pretty common in Spain, Lubie. You've been to Spain. Jose Marie Olazabal.
Yeah.
A little bit weird. I mean, for me, but is Marie a common middle name for guys in Spain?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. His name was always weird.
Ram was maybe, set to become the biggest of them all. And you would have to say, it's one thing if you're Dustin Johnson and you're kind of disengaged from the PGA Tour and it doesn't seem like you're really into it anyway, or do you care because you're banging Paula Gretzky, Paulina Gretzky, and Koepka. Nobody likes Brooks Koepka, right? And he seemed to be finished. He was struggling with injuries. I know he came back and won a major after that, which was great. Shows how good he was. But everybody hates Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, he sucks. He's
and nobody can get that image out of their heads if they saw him at that Florida Panthers hockey game when he looked like he had done more blow than Bobcat Goldthwait in the movie Blow with Johnny Depp. He couldn't feel his face, it appeared. So and DeChambeau, nobody cares about DeChambeau. DeChambeau gets into that thing about the guy wearing a funny hat and looking like he was a throwback golfer. But if you're going to dress like that, you better be damn fucking good. It's the guy that wears the pink Converse All-Stars to the basketball court and says, hey, can I run with you guys? And you're thinking, if you're going to wear those shoes, you better be able to play. But nobody cared about any of those guys. This, I don't know. Does it loom as something big in your opinion? John Rahm defecting now for the Live Golf Tour, which I thought was a dead issue. I didn't think people were involved in doing that anymore. So now that they have the ability to boast that they have, 3 out of the 5 top players in the world are on their tour.
I guess. So, I thought they I'm actually really confused about this whole thing. Aren't they one? Wasn't there a whole, they bought into it and now they're like, so how can you still leave? I know you said there's a drop dead date, but I just don't understand. How would anyone even criticize him? The league itself or the tour, whatever you call it, was open to being a part of it. So who gives a shit at this point? I'm not.
It's hard enough to like golfers anyway. They seem to be void of personality for the most part. So when you do get a guy that's got any kind of a thing going for him, I guess people respected. I did anyway. Rahm's determination, his ability to make clutch putts was fantastic. But, similarly to what happened with college football, although I guess that will change and we won't have these arguments anymore. Sport seems determined to drive you to the point out of greed and avarice, to drive you to the point where there's really not much reason to care about what we consider to be the standard structure and some of the criteria that would be used to judge whether or not you're a success or failure. Because who knows? So Ron goes off and wins a bunch of Live Tour tournaments. Do you really care? No. His big lament, though, was, I might not be able to play the Ryder Cup anymore. And I thought, who gives a shit at $600 million about some mythical championship that gets played every couple of years? Ken Venturi would be rolling over in his grave if he saw what was going on right now. All right, so that's it, man. Sports wagering is here. Oh, happy day for the people of South Florida. So you guys that have had it all around the country and around the world, as a matter of routine, you can go ahead and exhale because one more state has been added to the ledger of bodies that governmental bodies that want to separate you from your money. Although this was done in the usual Florida Fugazi fashion. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck on all of your wagers over the weekend. From Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. It's always a pleasure to be with you here on NoFilter.net, Caffeine TV. And we will see you Monday morning with the next edition of the Morning Briefing.